So hello, I would like to welcome you in my new video. This video is gonna focus on problems in communication which other people may create or which you yourself may create, and how you can make your communication with other people worse by doing this one thing which I'm gonna be talking about here. And for those of you who are new here, I welcome you on my channel, and if you're interested, you can subscribe to my channel if you're interested in self-help and personal development, because these are basically the topics which I shoot videos about. And now I'm gonna start talking about my today's topic, which is something which I noticed a lot in people, because a lot of the times I see that people tend to think about somebody who's very extroverted and who talks a lot, and they tend to think about this person like, oh, he has excellent communication skills, and basically what they mean is that this person simply just talks a lot, and that's what people interpret as having great communication skills. But I think personally that there may be a lot of problems in communication that apply to whatever you think of yourself most of the times as mostly introverted or extroverted, or whatever you think of yourself. So I know that it's not that simple to divide people into these two categories, but I just wanted to talk about it more like so that you will know what I mean. But today I would like to talk about this one specific issue that was bugging me for such a long time before I finally understood what is really going on, and that is this discrepancy, I would say, between or among what people think and feel for real, what they feel for real about something, then what they say about it, and then what they look like their facial expression and their behavior. These are basically three major components of this, how you can communicate to other people. Is that first thing is what you actually think and feel about the situation, and maybe some sensitive people in your environment will be able to say that, and you don't even have to say anything and they will just feel it. But there's not so many people like that, I think. Or people like to make assumptions, but that's not really what I mean. So one thing is what you really feel about some situation, second thing is what you say you feel, and the third thing is your behavior, how you behave, what kind of facial expressions you have on your face, and other things. I will give you specific examples of this because I think this is a huge problem in most people's communications. Because one example of this, if this seems too abstract for you, is that when, for example, imagine a person who comes back from work to home to their partner, and they maybe somebody pissed them off during the day and they are really angry, maybe they are stressed and overworked, and now they come home and they are in a really crappy mood. But when their partner asks them like, what was your day like, this person says, oh, it was fine, I'm fine. And the other person knows that they are not fine, but they kind of don't know what to do with this situation, because they know that this person is not fine, but he's saying that he's fine. And if you would be in a position of this partner, then you would maybe have a hard time figuring out what you should do in this situation. Should you like tell this person, you are not fine, I can clearly see you are not fine, and try to push him to communicate with you, or should you try to leave him alone, or are you just paranoid and he really is fine and you just read something into it? This can be really a source of huge confusion amongst people. Sometimes it can even make you feel like somebody is fake. For example, somebody feels really bad, but they put up this in their behavior. In the first example, the discrepancy was kind of between what the person was saying and how he was actually feeling. And now with my other example, it can also be like somebody feels really bad, but then they put up like happy face and they smile a lot. But you look at this person and they tell you that they're so happy and they smile a lot, but you kind of sense that there is just something off about this person. And usually this is the kind of people about whom you're gonna say that they're just seem fake to you. And there's just going to be something off about them, but you're not going to be able to figure out what it is. Well, this is, I believe, the mechanism which is going on with these people. This is the mechanism that can give you answer to what is really going on. This person is probably feeling really bad, but expresses himself as positive, and so it can come out as this kind of caricature of this person's like expression. But a lot of the times these people don't even have to be fake. Maybe you sometimes look at these people and you judge them too harshly. I also saw this happen a lot of the times, like people saying about other people that they're just being fake. But a lot of the times what it seems to me like is that they don't even necessarily have to be fake. Maybe they just have some really trouble or suffering, but they know that if they were not only having suffering in themselves, but they would also like not be smiling and be like down, and other people would keep asking them what's going on, and they would bring other people down, and maybe they don't want to do that, so they just decide to be fake instead and kind of like put up this happy face. And so a lot of the times it doesn't even have to be like this. And it can be one example. Another example of this can be also that if you want to observe this practically, it's really great. For example, when I'm on a train and there's like somebody who comes in and he has a dog, and usually these dogs, they are kind of curious and they kind of go after somebody on the train and they sniff them and they put their head like to their knee and kind of maybe even drool on them. And there are some people who just gonna be really pissed from this. Like imagine that like a strange dog is just drooling on you on a train, and you maybe go from a job interview and you have nice clothes and you don't want to have like a dog's drool all over yourself, and you just have an expression like, oh my god, what is this freaking dog doing? But then when the like owner of the dog comes to you and he asks you like, oh, didn't he drool on you? And you're gonna put up like a happy face and you say, oh no, it's fine. And you kind of make this like expression like you want to make the person know that you are fine, but like inside you are just screaming like, what is this dog doing? And so these are like some funny situations, but a lot of the times it can really bring confusion into people's relationships, and it can really be, in the long term, if somebody does this, like has this discrepancy between how they feel and what they're saying and their facial expressions, it can really confuse other people, and it can bring a lot of tension into relationships. If you have a long-term relationship and you have a partner who just covers up his feelings and he's really like not happy with you basically, but you keep asking this person and they telling you that they are fine, but you just know that they are not fine, it can be really frustrating in the long term if this happens. So with my video I would really like to ask you to observe this communication issue in your environment, but also in yourself, because a lot of the times I see that sometimes people, I have another example. Sometimes maybe you get a present from somebody, like it's Christmas or your anniversary, or you have a birthday or something like that, and somebody gives you a gift and you don't really like this gift, but you don't want to like make this person feel bad, so you just put up this happy face like you are happy with the gift, but inside you're not happy with the gift, and there is again this discrepancy. And these are just some specific situations which is not so bad in my opinion. But if there is this discrepancy in the long term in your relationships with other people, then it can slowly become a really huge problem in your communication with them, and it might even drive you guys apart. And one thing which I would like to say to this is that I personally think that it is good to know about these mechanisms in communication and what are the things that come into it, because maybe you didn't think about it like this, but sometimes when you talk to somebody and you feel like there is something off, you can think about these three components of behavior and expressions and feelings, and you can evaluate for yourself what this person feels like too. Maybe this person is smiling at you. Maybe you are in a job interview and this person is smiling at you, they're saying like, oh, your resume looks really good, but you feel kind of like this is not their true opinion. And so like this you can actually think about other people's behaviors but also your own, because maybe you think like you don't do this as much, but if you start observing yourself, you will maybe notice that you do this a lot during your day. Maybe depends on what kind of person you are, but at least sometimes in your life, I believe that this is what people do. I would like to give you one little warning before I end this video, and that is that don't assume that you know everything and that you are an expert on guessing what people are feeling. This is really dangerous, because sometimes if you try to practice this, you might feel like you know what is really going on, and you will make some kind of assumption about the other person, and then you confront them and you tell them, oh, you're being fake, I can sense that you're feeling something else but you behave differently, and something like that. This is not the message of my video. I'm not saying you should confront other people or come to them and tell them that they're being fake or something like that. This is like my message to you, because I think this is useful to observe in other people, but not to be aggressive about it, because people have really various reasons when they behave the way they behave, and you, a lot of the times, you might not even know why they are behaving like that. Maybe they have really good reason for that, and you can't know everything, and you can't attack other people for behaving the way they behave. You can be supportive as a friend, you can maybe guess for yourself what is going on, but until you have honest and deep conversation with this person and they tell you what is going on with them, you can't really make assumptions about what is going on with them, because you don't really know. You know, even if I tell you this mechanism and you start to observe it in other people, you always have to entertain the possibility that you are being wrong. Please never forget about this, because it could really endanger your relationships if you start to make these assumptions and you start to attacking other people and thinking that they are being fake. Because, you know, if it really comes to it, maybe people sometimes are not fake. Maybe you will think that they are, but in reality they're not. So be really wise in implementing this technique which I described to you here, and be really careful with your assumptions, because it's never good to make assumptions, but sometimes it can help you to orient yourself in the situation and maybe get an idea what is going on. But you should always know that this can be just one interpretation of the situation, and the reality might be completely different. So please keep that in mind. And so that's everything for my video. I actually made this video because this was, for a long time, this was kind of an issue for me, because a lot of the times I encountered people who would have this discrepancy, but I didn't know about this mechanism before, and I always felt like I'm being paranoid or I'm being weird, or I didn't know why I feel bad around certain people, and this mechanism maybe shines some light on it, and I maybe understood some people better, and it also helped me to communicate better with them, because I sensed that there is something off with them, and I offered them like my help, and it was really you know, it's really up to you what you're gonna do with it, but you should never like attack other people and telling them stuff like, oh, you're being fake. It's like, it's so simplistic, and it might not even have to be like that. So that's the message of my video. And if you like this video, you can give it a like, or you can subscribe to my channel. If you want to chat about this and write me some comments, if you encountered this sometime in your life, I would be really glad to read your comments. And so that's everything for me for now. And have a nice now, and I will see you next week with my next video. Bye.